I don't know. I think in just after 12th standard, 3 years of Madras Christian College, I think the physical space itself added a lot to the way I think. It's about, I don't know, I used to love walking there and I was doing botany. So the main decision why I took up, why I came to MCC as against Stella Maris where I got an admission was, I said botany and then you have to do it in MCC. You can't do it anywhere else because practically you walk through those woods and that's fascinating. I think somewhere from being from a girls' college, coming here, having so many boys around you and feeling that freedom to walk where you want. I think that today as a woman at 40 plus is a very significant thing. I just realized now when at this age I realized what the physical walking, that freedom meant to me because I think that touched the way you think also. And when you're from a women's college, you start performing in your, freshers culturals, you're having guys and you've probably seen them in your inter-school culturals and stuff, but to be there and to be accepted, you learn to work on a bigger group of people to handle this. For me, that was also very significant. Very fascinating things were genetics and things like that. For me, tissue culture, because I remember the Madras Christian College botany department was very strong on, there was research work going on tissue culture and they were traveling.
Who was the HOD then?
Crispin Devdas was the HOD from then. And I think HKPD who had joined college is now retiring. I just heard that he's retiring. And for us, the botany department was tucked away behind that new library which had come. And everybody has memories of libraries and MCC, the gutters. But I think botany was really blessed that way because we were away, not from the main block, and we came to the main block just for a language studies. And there was this whole vastness, that physical space is very engaging for me. I think it threw open freedom, the concept of freedom, and whether the culturals, the Deep Woods Festival, the musical night, and I think that freedom gave me a lot of responsibility. It made me think a lot more. And of course, that little bit of rebellion and that balance is very good because even today, I think I'm a very mixed person. Not totally bohemian, but little bit there. Traditional in some ways, very contemporary. I think for me, MCC was that. And I remember people telling my dad and mom, பொம்பளை பொண்ணா போய் அங்கெல்லாம் drugs எல்லாம் இருக்கு அனுப்பக்கூடாது. It's a very strong argument they had. But for me, what is very fascinating is MCC, I think, was one place where you could be what you want to be and you were not judged because of that. Because you are putting Vibhuti, you are not classified as one thing. Because the Vibhuti or Malipu girl will also be with somebody who's smoking and sitting. There was no difference. And I think the conversations in the gutters was man-making education. Because from the book, we can get from a number of places. But when we discuss the book beyond, see today when some of us sit together, we are discussing physics and moving it back into social reformation. I think that started there in MCC. So that's it. When you're at 18 or 20, you're so idealistic in so many ways. Everything seems possible. You have Josh. And somewhere, I think at 42 today, that still hasn't gone in me. It is very much alive. And I think that initiation in MCC really helped me because you study. I remember genetics class and the discussion in the gutter with a physics department boy used to happen. And that was the most, I remember the class much better because of these conversations. I think we were meeting students who were not just studying to get marks. And then if you could take a theme like this and put a skit out of it and take it for an inter-collegiate, that was happening a lot. That way it was very interesting. And we had a lot of Sri Lankan students and you won't believe it, Benny, now I run a professional cultural little with one of my MCC batchmates who's in Melbourne. Shivaganga Sahadevan, she runs music college there, music school. And so we do a program called Taste of India where I'm the Indian partner. So every year in September I'm there and that's an MCC Connect. And you won't believe when I go to Melbourne, it's beautiful because every time I go to Melbourne, third or fourth time I'll be going this year, it's really coming up. I'm working with the local government there, promoting, groups, ethnic groups in with music and dance. And I've taken art also there because we have the gallery now. But I just found that my heart is in arts. So immediately after college I got married and then, it was actually a beauty parlor. And then I realized that beauty business is not what I want to be in. It was not satisfying. So from there it was acting, So I was doing a lot of work with K. Balachandar.
That is after your marriage?
Everything is after my marriage, because there was a strike in our college. I think it was about the environmental issues, and so the exams got postponed. So I wrote an exam and got married, and then went and wrote another exam. So it was, I got married immediately after college. So and then somewhere, and what's very fascinating is some of my class guys used to know my husband because my husband used to play cricket with them. I mean, though he's from Guru Nanak. So there's this whole thing of going to the grounds, and we walked the woods so much even in our dating days, I think. So that way it was very interesting. So I started acting with Tamil television. But while being an actor, you could just be there. I found I was invariably fascinated with behind the camera work. So I'm doing a lot of things. Today I have a production house called Shylaja Production. I do theatre. I've done Tamil mainstream theatre as well as serious theatre. So I dabble with a lot of things. But in terms of main activity, I co-promote an art gallery called Art and Soul, which is on ECR, along with Nina Reddy of Savira Hotels. And from that, we run a film club called Cinema Rendezvous. We meet once a month, because my passions are cinema, theatre, video production and stuff. So I have Shylaja Productions and Art and Soul, this gallery. I work strongly with the Chennai International Film Festival. So this way I do a lot of film festivals, like recently did Goa this year and active with the Chennai Festival. So a lot of things happening like that. But I find that one of the strong connects because of this art and culture, as I was telling you, is with an MCCN, whom I again got to know because of a singer. So they were watching me on a television program. O.S. Arun was travelling to Melbourne to sing his bhajans and stuff, and he was conducting a workshop. And he was with Shivaganga Sahadevan, who was my batchmate in MCC. And she looked at a K. Bars in the serial and said, this girl studied with me. And I said, O.S. said, oh, I know her so well, you know, she's put together some of my musical programs, she's competed and all that. So one call there and we reconnected. And that time I was working with Chennai Sangamam here, with Prasanna Ramaswamy and Kani. And from then we actually started working on business side together. Because we found, we were studying botany, but today both of us had evolved into something else, and her music and my art and culture were things we could link up. So we do this program called Taste of India now, which she was doing in Melbourne, which is part of the Melbourne Fringe Festival and Darwin Music Feast. So it's like going back to college. And every time I go there, even with my family, the full MCCN crowd comes in. There's a very strong Sri Lankan Tamil population there, all MCCNs. And so you won't believe it, the families come, and after a while the families have moved away, and you know, we play with the children, and then it is us, you know, the core group studied in MCC, and we talk about Martin Hall, Sailor Hall, Giver or Thomas, and they say Thomas is best, and we go into all that. In fact, we sing some of the ragging kind of songs and all that, and we really have fun. And consciously for the last couple of years I've started working with NGOs. Now is a group for, empowering group for single women, either widowed or abundant, and this is initiated by Maniratnam and Suhasini. So because of Suhasini, I think I've got into the Chennai International Film Festival, and these are two strong areas. And I came to know Suhasini because of our Duchess Club, which is a women's organization. 300 women meeting once a month. For me, when I think of MCC, the travel to MCC, and was very interesting. It was the electric train first, because I'm basically from Christ King School, and then I travelled to St. Thomas Mountain School. But coming back was just 2 stops, from Krompet to Thambaram. And the ladies compartment, and then going in the normal compartment. And sometimes the most fascinating thing was cycling to college. I think that sanatorium, if it's a rainy day, I would say something and take the cycle, because it is very interesting to cycle. And so it's, such fond memories, and I don't know, for me college, MCC is more about what the physical space transformed me, as I told you right in the beginning, than what just education. And let me tell you, I was doing well studies wise. Not that, I'm not saying this because I didn't. I used to top class. But what I remember is not the class or what I studied, but the whole campus, which made a very strong on my personality later on, I think. Somewhere I think we had a lot of fun with a lot of innocence also. And I wouldn't say just because the college has changed or anything like that. I think overall society, we are seeing more negative things. And I think it is for us to rejoice on the nice things, so that the nice things always, float ahead of.
On the surface.
Yeah, I think that's the most fact, which is why it's nice to think of all the lovely things you see there.